Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to the place to be on a Sunday night, where tonight we're coming to you live and exclusive on Top Split TV for round 11 of the Sunday Night Lights, where tonight we are on one of the classic endurance circuits of the world at Sebring. Of course, former airport, concrete, flat as you come. No camber to help the guys out here tonight, but plenty of close racing, no doubt. I'm your host, Alex McKellar, and joining me once again tonight is the great Tim Gorkrotzer. Tim, welcome aboard for another week of hot skippy action.
Yeah, Alex, thanks for having me again. Good to be back, of course. And yes, Sebring, a personal favourite, always brings plenty of exciting racing. Nice and close, bit of draft, nice and technical, high curbs, you know, things that make it pretty exciting. So looking forward to 10 laps tonight of top flight skip barber action.
Yeah, should be plenty of it out there on track tonight. Familiar faces out there, although I'll tell you what, you're going to be struggling to see them tonight. The cameras here, of course, are disgraceful. We've got Mr. Gourlay on camera at the moment. Car number 1 is Redface Racing Team mate Mr. Julian O'Fray. He is car number 2 here tonight, also out on track. Some familiar faces from the UK&I Club in Lee Anderson and Anthony Catt wearing the 3 and 4 tonight before we hit the leading Australian driver. First of the Team Milo entries, Mr. Luke Witten. Certainly looking to get amongst it here tonight. It's got some pace. It's whether or not he can get the elbows out and stay on track tonight, wouldn't you say, Tim?
Yeah, Luke, he's been pretty quick lately. Sort of found his feet late in the season. Of course, only one round to go before we call it stumps on what's been a pretty good season. But yeah, Luke's he's found some good pace lately. Hopefully he can quali well. Obviously, that's key here. Tough track to really make your way by a number of cars because it is so technical. Not a lot of passing opportunities through the mid to later part of the track, bar the back straight. So, yeah, we'll see what Luca can do. Hopefully he brings his A game and puts it quite a long way up the front and races hard for the win.
Yeah, that's right. The other person out there, first of the Ovaltine drivers here tonight, Hawken Grebstad, who came second in the warm-up race here tonight, looking to get amongst it and perhaps repeat that here tonight, maybe go one step higher. Just behind him is another ANZ driver in Samuel Collins, looking to get amongst it. Next in the Ovaltine boys, Mr. Sam Devantia, the cowboy, their car plate number 8, rounding out his first timed lap as he heads through Sunset. Plenty of different approaches to that corner possible, all of them yielding different results, of course, but a lot of fun at the same time. Not quite as bouncy. I don't know about your perception this season, Tim, but the car seems to handle the bouncy nature of this circuit a bit better.
One thing I've probably found, Alex, is throughout the course of the season, particularly with the 0x contact that you find in the game at present, is that I've run lower SPOs, so higher ride height on the front of the car. Don't know whether that's changed how the car feels in particular, with bumps, but not something I've noticed, so to speak. But this place here, in particular, Sebring, I like to hit the curbs pretty hard. So run, 1 or 2 SPO and, to avoid front wing damage. So got to say, not really something I've noticed in braking zone or anything like that, but I do like to hit the curbs hard. So
yeah, it certainly helps from that perspective. I haven't tended to be as quite aggressive on the curbs, but I'm running about 3 SPO this season generally, and I just find the cars a bit more comfortable over the bumpy nature of this circuit, and it certainly helped me feel more comfortable around here, whereas previously the rear can get quite unstable if your suspension's a bit too low or firm, so to speak. So interesting enough, though, Mr. Julian O'Fray has jumped to the top of the pops after the end of the first time lap, 226.6, which is pretty decent on a first lap around here, wouldn't you say, Tim?
Not a bad lap at all. Anything in the 26s is pretty nice. And of course, the aim, sort of lap 2, want to pick up 6, 7, 8 tenths. I don't think a full second is really possible unless you made put a foot wrong on lap 1, but anything in the high 25s is really, really nice pace. That's almost race pace. Obviously, they take a little bit of fuel out of the car for the quality lap run on 7.9 rather than 11.9 litres, just to pick up that extra little bit of pace and really wring the neck of the skip bar. But interestingly, Alex, with the longer lap, just around the 2-minute 30 mark, challenging to really get heat into the tyres on the out lap, which so many of the good guys, the fast guys, really know how to warm the tyres up really effectively, really quickly. But here at Sebring, with the lap being so long, you don't really get that opportunity, and really you can only afford to have an extra 4, 5, 6 seconds in your out lap than your quali lap. Otherwise, you're going to run out of time and not get that second lap in.
Yeah, absolutely right there. Now the guys are starting to come around for their second time lap. We just see Grebstad now sitting in P2 provisionally, jumps up. Does he? Yeah, he's grabbed pole at this stage, although Vascalampi snuck into the field. O'Fray now jumping to... The times are starting to tumble at the moment as the guys finish out their second lap. Of course, clock's ticking right down as they do. Just the few seconds remaining to get those second laps in. Looks like Hanavi is not going to set a time, is he? No, he's not going to make his second lap at this rate. As the timing sheet ends there, we might run quickly through our grid for round 11, the penultimate round of Sunday Night Lights for season 18. Julian O'Fray for Red Face Racing taking out pole with a 25.8. Great time there for Julian. His teammate in Sasha Gourlay grabbing second step provisionally, on the grid. B3 tonight went to Team of Escalampy. Great return for Team. Haven't seen him race here much this week, although he's carrying an injury, so great to see him up the top of the timesheets. P4, Mr. Grebstad, Hawken Grebstad for Team Ovaltine. P5, leading ANZ driver Mitchell McLeod for Talk Inc. You can always check him out live on Twitch as well. The Cowboy, Sam Devantier, the second of the Team Ovaltine drivers in P6. P7, UK and I's Lee Anderson, followed by his compatriot Anthony Catt in P8. P9 went to the first Team Milo driver in Luke Whitten, expecting to move up from there. Dennis Fiedler, the final Team Ovaltine driver in P10. Great to see Dennis back in the top split on a Sunday night. Paul Beatty for Team Milo sitting in P11. Samuel Collins for ANZ in P12 rounds out the front page. Heading over the page now, we've got Christo Chinmay in P13. Kevin Henderson, stalwart of ANZ Skippy Racing in P14. P15, Fran Castillo, the sole Iberian representative here tonight, used Yonk in P16, and rounding out your field tonight, the final ANZ driver as well, Dan Hanavier, your strength of field for those playing at home, 35.64, and the track temp 36 degrees. Tim, what is your call for the race here tonight? Is it going to be a draft pack, or is someone going to break away?
The race starts.
I hope Alex Mitch McLeod, flying the Aussie flag, can get it done tonight from P5.
Yeah, nice. It'd be good to see Mitchell have a good result. I haven't seen him up in the top split for a few weeks. He's been struggling a little bit with results as the flag marshal takes his position on the dais. Red flag means race, revs. Green flag means go. And we are off for the first 10 laps here tonight as the Red Face boys lead us into turn one. A string of cars behind them there. There you go. What better sight can you see than 17 Skip Barber cars. Oh, the Red Face boys have almost taken each other out. Oh, it's O'Fray on the outside really struggling, is it? No, it was Gourlay. Gourlay left in the wake of his Red Face teammate as they're going 2 by 2 behind. Tim, can they all make it through this tricky section of the track? Looks like they've done it. Hats off to the boys in the top split tonight.
Yeah, somehow they made it through. One casualty at the back.
Oh, we got one around.
Spinner. Who's that? Looks like it is.
Whoa, there's one in the wall as well.
Luke Whitten, very unfortunate. Whitten? I was going to say Sam Collins, who just goes to pass Whitten now. Spinner on turn one, super unfortunate. And I hear you say, Alex, we had someone in the wall. Not sure who that was. I missed it completely.
I think it was Cat. We're just going to go grab a replay now.
Oh, a spinner at the hairpin as well. And I got to say, I think that's Fiedler. Perhaps got up the inside of. It was Fiedler up the inside of Kevin Henderson, the unlucky Hendo. Super unlucky. He's got right rear wheel damage. Night's over. Back to the pits, Hendo. And enjoy a 4X, mate. Hit the showers. It is super unfortunate to see you not get a good result tonight.
Yeah, just following Fiedler into the braking zone, into the hairpin for the first time. He's gone up the inside of Beatty by the looks. Unable to pull it up, is he? Yeah, just got the rear of Kevin Henderson's car. Beatty lucky to avoid damage. It's just Fiedler and Henderson that have been taken out by that event, and a bit of havoc at the start of this one, Tim.
Oh, and Alex, wouldn't you know it? We look away for 15 seconds flat. Who's taken away? More or less, they got the result on the bag already. Have a guess. I'll give you, it's 3 names. Starts with R, ends in G. 2 international drivers. Who do you think's got it in the bag already?
Yeah, Red Face Racing. They're out to what, a 1.6 second gap to the chasing Grebstad, Vascalampi and McLeod, although there's a decent pack of cars there. Very, very similar to the warm-up race, I should say, with yourself clearing out. As you see Grebstad running really wide through Sunset there. He's got the Cowboy Sam Devandier running shotgun for him in the other Ovaltine car, but you're right, the Red Face Racing boys have got this all but in the bag at this stage.
Absolutely laughing all the way to the bank. Those two in for a pretty nice haul of points, of course. Leading the championship as well, the official Skip Barber Championship by 100 or so points from Philippe Lebera. The 2 Red Face Racing drivers completely in control, of course, of this race. Surprise, surprise, as Mitchell McLeod looks to have made a nice move around the outside. I think of Håkon Grebstad around turn 1. As we'll see what sort of pace Mitch has. Hopefully he can make some inroads into bridging that gap. I think though, Alex, if these two boys up front are going to work together, they will be extremely difficult to catch. But who really knows? It's a strange track, and here, I don't know how you feel about this, but I reckon it took longer here than any track I've been to all season for the tyres to come up to temp and to normalise and to feel good, so you can hit your stops, get your braking right, get your turning right, and really nail some good lap times.
Yeah, I wonder if it's down to the surface. The concrete not quite as abrasive as some of the tarmac ones we've seen. Perhaps, having that impact that you've described there, where the tyres don't feel like they've normalised and they're ready to race to much longer than other circuits. Could also be the long straights as well, having a factor in the early stages. Although, interesting to see while we were talking there, it looked like the Scandinavians of Grebstad and Vascalampi going side by side, almost giving McLeod the chance to run away. But it's great to see Mitch McLeod. We're talking about him earlier in the race, or before the race, as one to watch. Car number 14, don't let that number fool you. He's up 2 spots and in the podium position at this stage. Hasn't quite gotten out of the draft, but I tell you what, if Vascalampi and Grebstad keep racing the way they were through the early stages of this lap, he'll be out in the clear as well.
Yeah, it's Mitch McLeod. Don't know if that went to plan. He was pretty sideways through the fast sweeping S-bend before the back straight. Didn't quite do him any favours as he gets swamped by the trailing group of 4 cars. Håkon Grebstad making a move, Timmy Vascalampi making a move right around the inside of Grebstad. Who's that coming for a look? Lee Anderson from the UK and Ireland Club having a squiz as well. Thanks very much, he says. Mitch McLeod from P3 straight back to P6. That is not what he hoped for his second lap in the race, Alex.
No, I put that down to the cold tyres, as you say, that approach through the S's there on the approach to Le Mans. Through 15 there is very tricky to get right in the early stages. You've got to break just that. Well, it's probably about 5-10 metres earlier, if I'm honest, in my experience on the early stages, to how much more committed you can be in the late stages. Through turn 1, they go 2 by 2. Very challenging to go through their solo in the early stages. We are on lap 3 and the tyres are starting to come up as we see Mitchell McLeod now defending up the inside now with Lee Anderson forced to go around the outside. All the while you've got Devantier sitting in P8 or P7 I should say, tucked in behind. And I'll tell you what, Chinmai there in P8, he's not that far back, 1.3, and if these guys keep mucking about, not only will the front two of Gourlay and O'Fray, who are really just running 2 lone soldiers there out in front, they're out now to nearly a 4-second lead. But if that second pack don't watch themselves, it's going to be an extra one there. And there'll be 6 of them instead of 5. Tim.
Yeah, interesting that. Got to say, surprised to see that little gap build between McLeod and is that
Anderson?
Lee Anderson. Yeah, he's a gun. I'm really surprised to see that gap. I thought he'd be right up under the rear wing of McLeod, and it looks like Alex Christo Chinmay is pretty well within draft range of Sam Devantier. Interestingly, I don't know what your thoughts are here, but I've never seen someone sort of come of age in the skip and really develop their game as well this season as anyone. But Sam Devantier is having a cracker at the moment, finding himself at the at the pointy end of the top split, and doing really, really well, which is fantastic to see.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt that he's going really well in quali. My personal experience in racing with Sam this season is his quality is probably the strongest element of his game, and it's put him up the front at the starter races, which is where you tend to find things a little bit where cooler heads prevail at the start. Not as many people trying to bust away up the front, and it really helps with you establishing yourself in a race without being taken out by everyone left, right, and centre. Having said that, you're right. He's had to earn the pace to get up that end of the field, and he's making the most of it too. Bumpy ride up and down with his I rating this season, but that's reflective of a mixed bag of results. Sometimes not able to complete what he started with good quality, but it looks at the moment like he has dropped off the back of this pack. He's now 1.3 seconds. Doesn't look like he's carrying any damage, but just struggling to keep up with that pack of, 4 cars now, as McLeod tucks in behind Grebstad on the approach to turn 3.
Yeah, Grabstad last time by a 225.8. Similar sort of pace to the leaders' pace. 226.1 for O'Fray, 225.7 for Gourlay. So hopefully, I mean, Grabstad, he was very, very competitive. Had a great turn of speed in the prior race, Alex. Of course, you know, don't want to talk it up too much, but yours truly won it. But Hawkon very competitive here, so maybe just maybe there's an opportunity for them in the next sort of 4 or 5 laps. Knuckle down, put your head down, hit the braking markers, get on the throttle nice and early, and see what sort of pressure you can put on the guys in front. You know, a handful of seconds, 3 or so seconds, not not impossible. It's going to take some hard work and some good smart driving, but. Yeah, Grabstad's got a good bit of pace at the moment, so we'll see what happens.
Well, he's dragged back about 3 or 4 tenths this lap, but I think a 3.2 second gap's going to be very difficult. You've got 2 of the top Skippy drivers running around at the moment up front, and they're not looking to risk the farm on this lot. They're sticking pretty close together, albeit you know, not setting the world on fire in terms of times. They were some 3 tenths off. Nearly 4 tenths off the last lap pace of Grebstad. So, yeah, look, he might be able to bridge that gap, although the time that he made in the early stages of the race is now lost as they head through the snaking 15-16 complex now as they come around the most important corner on the track at Le Mans. Down the back straight they go once again. Of course, very important on this track, that corner, because leads to the longest straight as we see the 1-2 of the Red-Faced Racing Boys head through Sunset, followed by this chasing pack of 4. Up the inside goes Vascalampi. McLeod looking to really make his presence known. I'm not sure if he clipped the back of Vascalampi or was just the rear of the car getting loose with one of the bumps. See Grebstad come up the inside. That's how he got second place last race, and that's an interesting line. The over-under, they're very effective through Sunset, Tim.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, a couple of hundreds different that time by between the leaders and the leader of the chasing pack, of course, Grebstad, being challenged by Vascalampi there on turn 1. That's not going to help things out. He's not going to gain any time going around the outside, unfortunately. McLeod slots into P4 ahead of Vascalampi, cost himself a bit through the run that on the exit of 1 up to 2. But McLeod's looking pretty good, I've got to say, Alex. Maybe I was a bit, you know, talking a bit of rubbish at the start of the race when I thought he was a chance for the win, but he's certainly looking pretty good for a podium. So hopefully Mitch can bring it together. And there's been a bit of chat in his stream as well, just to say, hey, settle in. Let's see you get all the way to the end, and we want to see some good hard racing. So we'll see what Mitch brings, and hopefully he and Grebstad have a ding-dong battle as the race unfolds.
Yeah, absolutely. I think McLeod's certainly got the racing ability. He's very quick, particularly the early stages of races. He likes to move through the field. As he looks up the inside now through Tower at turn 13, not the quickest way around if you try to bridge a gap, but certainly one that's exciting for the viewers. I beg your pardon, that was at Cunningham, the second gear right-hander now on the approach to Tower. Tell you what, the camera angles here really don't help you know where you are. Oh, was that a touch? Grebstad off. Let's go take a look at the replay and see how he's come unstuck there. I tell you what, there'd be some blue language in the chat, no doubt. Oh, perhaps if we could actually get going, that'd be nice, Mr. Let's go again, please. There we go. Comes up the inside. Oh, I tell you what, he's run wide there. Nearly run him out of circuit as McLeod. And as we hop on the gyro there, no, left front. Oh, I just couldn't see what happened there. Maybe the where's the chopper? Maybe he can tell us what happened there. We'll go back just a little bit more. But they've come out there. McLeod's running pretty wide on the exit of Cunningham. Oh, I'll tell you what, they've almost touched on the approach as well. And as they approach into Tower now, Grebstad, the rear's letting go. I don't know if there's a touch there or not, Tim. It's too hard to tell. I couldn't tell you if he's just lost it on his own.
Perhaps a tiny bit of netco contact. One thing I did not notice, Alex, any front end damage to McLeod's car, not even the stray sort of nose cone wobbling around, picking up a bit of damage, none of that. And of course, nothing on the back of Grebstad's car either. So perhaps one of those unlucky incidents, Grebstad possibly going in just a little bit too hot. and losing the back end. But I got to say, it looked pretty close from my point of view, Alex. So, really difficult to sort of say, hey, this is exactly what happened. But rest assured, there'd be one Håkon Grebstad who would have a little bit to say in the in-game chat at this very point in time.
Yeah, I'm just picturing the Team Ovaltine Discord channel alight with the Scandinavian chat going on. Pretty dirty on that one, no doubt, but still hard to say where fault lied. Could have been netcode. Didn't look to be any contact, legit contact that is, but the race continues nonetheless as we try and find a decent camera angle where the cars don't look like they're in another suburb, but still struggling at this stage. Meanwhile, back up the front, we have our two red-faced racing drivers, Ofray and Gourlay. They have cleared out. They're running consistent lap times in the mid to low 25s, and the chasing pack now, led by Mitchell McLeod, has three drivers in McLeod, Vascalampi and Anderson. Devantier not fully capitalising on that mishap from the previous lap that took out Grebstad. He's just outside of draft range here, about 1.2 seconds. Looking to get on the back of this pack and make his presence known to him.
Yeah, it's going to be really going to have to make something happen the next couple of laps, or it's just not going to quite happen for him. But yeah, close. What's that gap? 1.5 seconds thereabouts. We'll see what sort of lap time he can do this time, by a little bit quicker than the group in front last time round. But yeah, as we've said all season, he's got the pace. Just got to put it together and make it happen this afternoon.
Briefly 3 wide on the approach to Sunset this time round from this chasing pack. This time round led by Vascalampi with McLeod and Anderson tucked in behind. No over-unders this time. We do have the 4 laps remaining now as they cross the line. For the start of lap 7 to 10 here, the red-faced boys disappearing off in the background. Devantier was briefly within draft range, but that long straight really pulled the guys that he was chasing away, although he is now, I'll tell you what, just the 1.1 nearly. Yeah, he's just inside draft range round at 9/10. Him looks like he might play a part in this yet.
Yeah, I think he will, Alex, and come the hairpin, only a handful of turns up in front. That's really where the cars suffer that big concertina effect under brakes, and where the car that isn't impeded by a car in front really gets that opportunity to sort of pick up, 2-3 tenths in the braking zone alone, and that 1.2 second gap becomes 0.8, 0.9, and enough to really suck you along in that skip barber.
Yeah, and he gets a free break into this hairpin, whereas the others will have a slightly checked run. And he is now the 0.8 behind of this back section, which will really help him. 0.9. The straights are where the gap gets drawn out. It's this twisty section where he can come back into it. So hopefully now Sam will make this a pack of 4 and he can get back amongst it, Tim.
Yeah, just looking at him go through that right-hander, he's certainly done all the stops right on the edge in terms of braking, using all the track. That's what you want to do, Alex. Make every little bit of gain you can. Run it out as wide as you can, right up onto the ripple strip. As we see there, just a wheel width narrow, a wheel width shy of the ripple strip, picks it all up on the exit, picks up a little bit of dirt as well. That's fine, not going to cost you any time at all. And doing everything he can to stay in the draft so kindly provided by Mitch McLeod.
Yeah, well, he was about 1.1 seconds last lap. He's now sitting at about 0.6 of a second or 0.7 of a second. No, he's right up under there now. He'll be well in play, Devantier, now as we run down the back straight on the approach to Sunset at the tail end of lap 7. 3 laps to go when they cross the line this time round, and Devantier now the top or the leading Team Ovaltine driver, looking to get amongst it as we wind this one down. Certainly in with a fighting chance, you'd say, as being one of the top ANZ drivers. In fact, there's 2 of them in there, he and McLeod, looking for that final step on the podium. We might watch these guys through the first corner now as we see Anderson running up the inside, looking to make it 2 wide. Legit passing opportunity there. It's just about how you shuffle the cards in that deck, trying to get as close as you can to that inside wall to maximise the run. Down into turn 3 now, breaking up the inside, defending that. Oh, they're going to go 2x2. Vascalampi hanging around the outside. Don't want to kiss that curb too much on the outside of turn 4 there. Vascalampi doing tremendously well there to drive around the outside of turn 3, Tim, and hang on to that position.
Yeah, he did. Nice side-by-side racing. Interestingly, one thing you don't see from the international drivers is the netcode issues that we suffer in Australia running on international servers. Those two, Timo and Lee Anderson, could run particularly close together and not have any issues. So great to see them racing hard. And obviously, lap 8, a handful left to go. No real need to get sandy like that on, for Lee, but great racing. That's what it's about. That's what Skip Bub's all about. And as Lee Anderson ready to chuck it up the inside, Vascalampi breaks a tiny bit earlier. Says, hey, Lee, you can have this one. I'm going to try and do the over-under. And cross back around the outside. Can't make it happen. Lee Anderson, a nice move through that right-hander as he takes up third position with 3 laps to go, Alex.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it nearly brought McLeod right up into the rear of his car there as well, but he nearly made it work, although at this stage of the race, I'm wondering how much of it's jockeying for position to set themselves up for the final run. Meanwhile, back up the front, we have the 2 red-faced boys going through Le Mans this time round at the closing stages of lap 8. And it's really quite sedate for those guys, just more or less running a dual time trial. It's really the second pack here that's got the action here, with Anderson now taking his turn at the front, with Vascalampi, McLeod and Devantia well and truly in the mix this time round. What are they going to do through Sunset? There's a nice little battle developing behind them too, with Chinmay, Yonk and Castillo. We might touch base with them shortly. As you see, 2 wide. See McLeod making a nice move up the inside through Sunset. Will Anderson get the over-under? Or no, he's sort of forced a bit wider there by Devantia, and they get through there. Jumping back to that other group, we've got Used Yonk, Christo, Chinmay and Fran Castillo. These 3 looking to have a decent battle here, separated by, look, just under half a second between the 3 of them, as we see who's that, Chinmay coming up the inside through turn 1 this time now. Yonk just tucking in behind him, as does Castillo in P10. Going up to our battle again, side by side. McLeod this time trying his luck up the inside of Vascalampi, now heading through turn 5. Oh, there's big contact there. Oh, the whole lot of them. And it's Devantia, the Cowboys, driven through that cleanly. He's stuck. Oh, look at the wheel bouncing across. Didn't collect anyone on the way through. I'll tell you what. That's come for nothing, that one, hasn't it? Let's see what happened here as we see the 2 of them going through turn 5 now. Vascalampi trying to cut back. I don't know if McLeod hit the curb and spat out a bit more, and he's run out into Vascalampi and then come across and picked up the unluckiest one there in Lee Anderson. I tell you whose luck's a fortune there tonight is Sam Devantia, just strolling through what will be the simplest of podiums he'll ever get, Tim.
It is a great result for him. Interestingly, just watching that replay, really surprised to see Mitch. He's a gun driver, nothing wrong with the way he steers at all, but to drift out like he did into Vascalampi, I know Tim is pretty upset in game chat about Mitch not holding the line. So disappointing way for him to end. He's disconnected. No points tonight. Mitch McLeod, a heavily damaged car, still hanging around the back of the pack. But like you said, Sam Devantia doing very, very nicely. Interestingly, up front, Alex, O'Frey's had a half spin. Gourlay's got it in the bag. Devantia, he's eyeing off the second step of the podium with a P2 tonight as he battles O'Frey on the second last lap.
Oh, wouldn't that be something to write home about? You're right. We see Devantia now pull over to the inside now on one of the world's leading drivers, it has to be said, in Julian O'Frey. He's now up there with the big boys well and truly in this latter stage of this race. They're crossing the line now. They got 1 lap to go. Gourlay's off to the races. He's gone. What we've got now is Devantia v O'Frey, Ovaltine v Redface. What can these guys do in the closing stages, Tim? We've got O'Frey tucked in behind through turn 1, perhaps saving his run to be through the final stages.
Alex, I'm going to say, I think O'Frey, and interestingly, I watched the replay, he picked up a bit of contact with, of all people, teammate Sasha Gourlay, put him off into the wall, managed to not really pick up any damage on the left-hand side of the car, but the damage to the front wing on the right-hand side is significant. And I got to say, Alex, I feel it's going to severely impact top speed as Devantier creeps out to a bit of a gap. He's got all the pace in the world. O'Frey's in draft, not able to get up past 185k an hour through that short straight towards the hairpin. Devantier, though, right up in the 190 region. All the pace in the world, and O'Frey, just not sure whether he's going to be able to do it. Doesn't matter how good you are. If you've got damage in that skip barber, it's going to be very difficult for you to make ends meet come the end of the race when you're battling with a guy with a clean car, Alex.
Tell you what, Devantier's driving away from him. It's now Grebstad who he's going to have to worry about. It could be an Ovaltine podium here. As we hop on board with Grebstad, let's have a look at a different angle here. Let's find the nose. We're right on board with Grebstad. You can see how close he is with O'Frey in front. And I think, yeah, what's he got? He's only 8/10 behind. And if O'Frey's down on top speed, Grebstad will have him into sunset for sure as he comes now through turn 15, through this challenging snake-like section on the approach to the important Le Mans corner. I tell you what, excuse me, he's down to half a second. He'll have him here in the sunset for sure.
Gets a great run out that right-hander, sits in his draft, lines those front wheels up with O'Frey's rear wheels. O'Frey's thinking, oh, I go left. I'm not sure what to do. I think he's going to go to the right. He does. Grebstad says, thanks very much. I'm going to just keep it there and drive right around the outside of you, which he does. O'Frey's going to have the inside run, but I think that run will be shallow and compromised. Grebstad puts his foot to the floor. Who's going to get it? It's Sasha Gourlay crossed the line first. Devantier in second. Hawk on Grebstad. Brilliant last lap. He gets the move done around the outside of Julian. O'Frey takes the third and final position on the podium.
Tell you what, Ovaltine 2 and 3 on the podium. Who would have picked that going into tonight's race? Fantastic result for the Ovaltine boys this week, taking out the chocolate drinks award from their rivals at Team Milo. Fantastic result for the Ovaltine boys. I might just see if I can't find the incident between O'Frey and Gourlay. See if we can't pick them up. See what happened. It was well before that.
It was through turn 12, the right-hander before 13, which is Tower, Alex.
Yeah, which is Tower. I've just got to find how far back it was. I'm just trying to find a spot where he was with his teammate. And I'm still with... There we go. Through Tower, you reckon? All right, this might be it. We might just zoom a bit further forward. Tell you what, they're close there, aren't they? Side by side at the back. I tell you what, they had a couple of laps to go. You wouldn't want to be doing that. And as it turns out, this might be it. Side by side into Tower, turns in. He might have run him wide there. No contact. I'll tell you what, they weren't holding back, were they? The red-faced boys. Oh, no, again, that was Cunningham. Side by side, all the way through Cunningham, on the way down. Yeah, there it is. We'll go back a little bit there. And hop on board with Gourlay there. And you can just see as we wind it back a little bit. O'Frey, he's on the inside there. I reckon Gourlay's pinched him a little bit there, tight there, compromised his run. And yeah, I tell you what, that's just not enough racing room given by the red-faced boys. I reckon there could be some words in the garage after that one, Tim.
Yeah, I think so too, Alex. Interestingly, they're, playing for keeps now, obviously. Both of them want to win the championship. And it's particularly close at the top. But I've got to say, it looked like, my take on it is Gourlay moved to the left when he had plenty of room to the right and should have, lined his car up for the apex on that right-hander at the very start or the very end of turn 12 as you drive the car back across to the right-hand side of the track before you sweep out to the left-hand side for 13. So disappointing. Fortunately for O'Frey, it didn't end his night, but P4 wasn't the desired result. And of course, those two would like to have had a proper battle on the last lap. But lesson learned for those guys. And I'm not sure who the team manager is, but I'm sure I'll be having words to them a bit later in the evening.
They may well be doing. They're sitting in the broadcast green room. I'll be interested to see what they've got to say. But before we talk to them, let's run through our results here tonight for Sunday Night Lights round 11, penultimate round at Sebring Raceway. Sasha Gourlay hung on for Red Face Racing Team, up one position and took it out on the night. Sam Devantier for Team Ovaltine, also in the green room, no doubt willing to share his adventures here tonight. Fantastic result in P2. His Team Ovaltine teammate in Hawken Grebstad, a surprising P3 after his earlier run-in with McLeod. P4 tonight went to Julian O'Fray, the other Red Face Racing driver. After that unfortunate touch with his teammate, Mitch McLeod, hung on for P5 on the telemetry for Talk Inc. Racing, of course. Sam Devantier, I should have pointed out, leading ANZ driver. That's close to the best result of the ANZ drivers for the season, so great job for Sam. Fran Castillo from Iberia in P6. Just Yonk in P7 joining us once again. Familiar face that we don't see too often. Christo Chinmai in P8 from the Asia Club. Paul Beatty, the first of the Team Milo drivers, all the way down in P9. P10 tonight, his teammate in Luke Witten after being up the front early and coming unstuck. ANZ's Samuel Collins in P11, and rounding out the Sunday Night Lights points getters, Dan Hanavier, his best result in the top split of Sunday Night Lights. Lee Anderson for UK&I in P13, Dennis Fiedler for Team Ovaltine, the final Team Ovaltine driver in P14, Vascalampi retiring in P15, as did ANZ's Kevin Henderson in 16th, and UK&I's Anthony Catt rounding out our field, the final retirement. Strength of field, as we said, 35.64. And the fastest lap, not only did he get his first podium of the season of the series, Sam Devantier cracked it for a 24.1, which is pretty damn quick around here, even with draft, Tim.
Yeah, I'd be happy to claim that as my own, Alex. So well done to Sam, and a great result by the Ovaltine guys tonight. Did fantastic. But Alex, it's pretty busy looking green room at the moment, and we probably shouldn't dawdle for too long so that the Aussies can get to bed and the international crew can continue with their Sunday.
Yeah,
so shall we start to bring them up?
Yeah, let's do that. I'm just trying to find an appropriate spot in the replay. We'll start in finishing order, of course. We'll bring up Mr. Gourlay, Sasha. Mate, it was a good victory, but perhaps not at the expense of your teammate, as it turned out in the end.
Hello, guys. Oh, it's a shame. We would love to have a nice fight until the end. So it's really a shame to have again a big ghost contact. I don't know what do you guys have seen, but in both our screen there is a lot of room between us, and it's a big ghost contact.
Yeah, mate, looked pretty close there. You were racing hard at that part of the track. Thought you might save it for later in the race, to be honest, given the fact that the net code has been so strong in recent weeks. But certainly it shows that there are no team orders and the Red Face Racing team is here to race.
Yes, sure. Firstly, we tried to create an enough big gap with the other drivers to be able to fight without being catched by the others. So that's what we did. I think we had 7 or 8 seconds gap. So at this point, we decided to fight free. And yes, it's. I'm sad that this contact or ghost contact happened, because I think it would have been a nice fight.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. But it's certainly, at the end of the day, it's another win for Red Face Racing and for yourself, Sasha. A nice haul of points, a bit over 200 points there for tonight, and hopefully help you towards trying to secure the overall official season as well. So, congratulations. You don't think so?
Okay. I think 208 points won't approve my score. I think I needed 220 or something like that to improve, because the I don't know how to say. We have 4 dropped weeks, and I think I already have 1 or 2 more than 200 drop weeks. So I don't think the stuff was high enough to improve Julian and I our scores in official championship.
Yeah, it's tough towards the end of the season. Everyone's sort of, it's been a long season, a long year, so tough to get the big crowds out, even for the big races. So, but certainly, congratulations again,
Thank you very much.
Sasha. We look forward to seeing you in the coming weeks. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight before we let you go?
Yes. You and team this time. Corey wasn't there, I see. But for the broadcast and Julian for the good racing we have all the time.
Excellent. All right, Sasha. Thanks once again for joining us, and we'll
You're welcome.
hopefully see you on track next week.
Yes, I'll be there. See you guys.
There you go. Tim, seems to be no hard feelings in the garage between the Red-Faced boys after that one.
Nah, good to see as well. Like, you want to race close and race hard, and you don't want to gift it to your teammate. You want them to battle for it, and just a bit unfortunate. I agree, though, there was a little bit of net code contact, but that is what it is. Interestingly, Sasha spoke about only 200 odd points this week with a slightly lower soft. Hopefully next week, of course, it's Silverstone, and I believe it's the new layout, the F1 GP layout, will hopefully bring out some of the older faces, the high soft, back at its best, up at the the 4K mark, and really allow those two guys to battle it out for the win and for the overall Skip Barber champion for this season.
Yeah, that'd be a good one to see. Nice to finish on a high note as well. Speaking of high notes, let's bring him up, the cowboy himself, Mr. Sam Devantier. What a way to round out the night, mate. First podium, a bit Bradbury-esque, I have to say, but you fought your way back to get onto that second pack and in the fight.
Yeah, it was pretty good actually. Honestly, I was playing on a hand in the draft, honestly, from the start, because I lost at the start, and then yeah, poor Håkon got taken out. So yeah, it was just pretty much luck from then.
Well, luck's a fortune, mate, but you do, to a large extent in this category, make your own luck as well. And, of course, you had to be in there with a fighting chance to take advantage of the luck and the cards as they fell. So, certainly, I think it represents of your increase in pace and competitiveness this season, mate. So, congratulations on the result. What do you take away from your first Sunday Night Lights podium?
Just the experience, honestly. Just happy, joy, honestly. That's what I got to say.
Yeah, fantastic, mate. Well, leading Team Ovaltine driver, leading ANZ driver for the night. Quite a few prizes to take home in your kit bag, mate. So congratulations for that. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Dennis Fiedler, honestly. He gave me the drive. He wanted me. He's like, you know what? I'm going to take you now. So yeah, here I am.
Yeah.
One of the favorite teams of all.
Beautiful, mate. Certainly took out not only the chocolates, but the chocolate milk rivalry between yourselves and Team Milo. So congratulations, mate. Look forward to seeing you in the coming weeks and hopefully some continued success.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
There you go, Tim, Sam Devantier, good young kid, making it good on the big scene.
Yeah, did really well. Great to hear his excitement. That's what it's about. That's why you race. So congratulations to him. A great effort. And, I think he can ride into the boys at Ovaltine come contract renewal time and say, hey, I got some good results this year. Let's write some bigger checks. So.
Yeah, worth his weight in Ovaltine. Speaking of which, his teammate, Mr. Grebstad, fought back after an unfortunate incident early in the race. He's come back to round out the podium, mate. Pretty happy with that result?
Yeah, I can't complain, but obviously it was more luck than anything else being able to get back those positions after, what happened with me and Mitchell. I'm a bit dirty on him after leaving tons of room in the corner previously, and he doesn't return the favor in the next corner, but, that's how it goes.
Yeah, look, it's interesting racing here this week. Sometimes the cars get a little bit too close, even though the the draft affords us every opportunity to make nice safe passes. Other people are just out there to race and race hard, and it can frustrate you on those big nights, and particularly when things go wrong. But a great night for Team Ovaltine, mate. Locking out the second and third steps on the podium after it all came unstuck for Redface, who had it all in the bag. But you got to make the most of the luck when it presents, mate. So congratulations for that. Anyone you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Well, I gotta give a shout out to Sam for coming second. That was brilliant. Being able to avoid Mitchell's, final resting place or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, look, he did well. It was a good night for Ovaltine all round, mate. So congratulations. Thanks again for joining us on track, and good to see you back. Hopefully a bit more regularly in the future, mate. But until then, we'll catch you next time.
Yeah, thanks. I just got to wake up on Sundays, right?
Yeah, that's it. There you go. Tim Hawken-Grebstad. He did all right out there tonight. Played strong, ran hard, and finished up with a podium.
Yeah, interestingly, the contact with Mitch, at the end of the day, Alex, only cost him one position. So, and who's to say if it didn't happen to Vantier, he was part of that group. Maybe Sam would have pipped him. Who really knows? So I think to have had that contact, to have gone back quite a number of positions and to salvage the third was a great effort and not something to be, too dirty at.
Nah, that's right. Speaking of not too dirty, we'll bring up Mr. Julian O'Fray. Julian, quite an adventurous finish there for you. Looked like the incident with your teammate had you down on speed there at the end.
Hello. I don't really understand what you said, but it was a poor ghost contact. I don't know if you see it on the stream.
Yeah, mate, it looked like you guys were racing very hard there for the position out the back of the circuit there, and it just unfortunate contact between the two cars, but fortunately you were able to hang on to fourth position.
Yeah. I took damage from this ghost, and I don't know if you see it, but in the grass to the left of the track, there is a little hole with some road in the middle, and I destroyed my front car at this place. So I have the rear suspension destroyed, and the wheel to turn to the right when I in straight line. So pretty damaged car. It was hard to do some good laps.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you did well that the wheels didn't fall off in the current build, because we saw a couple of wheels flying around tonight, but well done on hanging on there with such a damaged car, Julian. Before we let you go tonight, mate, is there anyone you'd like to say thank you to?
I want to say thanks to Sasha for all the race we have together, and sadly, this one and bad, but not your fault, just unlucky.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thanks, Julian. Hopefully we'll see you back next week for the grand finale. Hopefully we get a big showing so that you guys can fight it out for the championship. But until next time, mate, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
There you go, Tim, Mr. Julian O'Fray. Language barrier notwithstanding, it's great that he and his teammate can join us each week. You there, Tim? Have I lost you? Have I lost everyone?
Apologies. No, I am still here. No, it's terrific to have Sasha and of course Julian join us on a Sunday night, to make the race that you promote, that you do all the work towards, and obviously the stream and so on, to sort of call it their own, and join us every week for the past better part of 3 months, and come out and put on a spectacle for us to enjoy, and for us to race against those guys as well. They're the best in the league, the best in the comp. So terrific to get involved and to get amongst it. And obviously if ever you're out there battling them, then you're doing well. So really great to have them involved. And we hope it continues for many seasons to come.
Yeah, that's right. And just to answer the questions coming from the crowd tonight, all you need to do to be a part of the action here on a Sunday night is sign up for the 9:15 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time race, the official series race. Crank up the I rating you needed to get into the top split of that session, and you too can be part of the best skippy action in town. But before we go tonight, I just wanted to bring up Mr. Les Peck, who another Team Ovaltine member who had a decent run here tonight in the second split, Les.
Yeah, it was a fairly good run tonight. I was happy with that.
Yeah.
Ended up on the third step.
Yeah, nice one, mate. Now, it's good that you're here. We've been having a bit of the promotion going for the charity event that you're putting on in the coming week or so to help out with the bushfires. Tell us a little bit about that event, mate.
It's a paid fee entry to join the races. It will be a private session. Minimum of $10 to either the Red Cross or the Salvation Army, and it'll be running on the 30th, next Saturday night, I believe. Gates will open at 7. We'll have a 10-minute quali 3-lapper, line quali at 20 past 8, and then a 30-lap race at 8:30.
Yeah, beautiful, mate. Tell me, is there a post in the forums or somewhere people can go to find the details?
As you know, it's in iRacing Down Under. I haven't set up one yet, but I will set up one tomorrow in the Australian NZ Road Race Forum.
Beautiful. All right, folks, there you go. Go support a very worthy cause there. We know that the bushfires have been ravaging across the east coast of Australia, at least in the last few weeks. Very scary for those involved. Do what you can and have some fun at the same time, either to the Red Cross or the Salvation Army. Just a simple donation there, $10 or more, gets you into the field and makes you feel good about your racing at the same time. So thank you, Les. I know you do this from time to time, this bit of charity work, and it's much appreciated. And congratulations also for the third step on the podium tonight, continuing the podium efforts of Team Ovaltine, who've really been the talk of the town for this round, mate. So congratulations and thanks for joining us here, mate. Anyone like to give it a shout out to while you're here?
You guys for doing what you do, and Team Ovaltine boys.
Beautiful. Thanks, Les, mate. We'll talk to you hopefully once again in the top split at some stage soon in the coming weeks, mate.
Hopefully, mate. Hopefully. I'll catch you later.
There, mate. There you go, Tim. Mr. Peck sporting some new gear as well, some shiny new gear, which I had a race with him on Friday night. I tell you what, he wasn't shy on pace, so I'm wondering if the new gear and the consistent setup might bring a bit of Les Peck to the front of the fields near you soon.
Mate, perhaps I missed something on the Discord channel because, maybe it's not as recent, but I wasn't aware he got some new equipment. Do you just want to briefly enlighten us on what sort of stuff he's invested in?
Oh, mate, well, he's got the full rig going. He's got the aluminium profile stuff, as well as a lovely looking Fanatic direct drive wheel would be the pick of the gear there. I think some lovely pedals to go with it as well. So he's set up, and can I tell you, if it's one thing that helps you and your consistency more than anything else, it's getting off that desk chair that people ride around with the casters and everything, and having a consistent set up where you know where the pedals are and the wheel and everything all at the same time. And I think, beyond equipment itself, people talk about the brake pedal and everything being the most important thing. I think having that consistent feel where you can set up your muscle memory is probably my tip to be the biggest thing as well. Plus, as someone's just mentioned in the chat, he's got the nice big double screen as well, the 32x9 screen. I can tell you from personal experience, they are awesome.
Can you imagine how good Ben Snell would be if he wasn't racing from a Bunnings style outdoor plastic chair?
Yeah, I'd hate to think he'd be dominating the world, I'm sure. But that's $25 well spent, that chair, and it's also
a good investment, a very good investment.
It is indeed. All right, mate. Well, thank you very much for joining me once again, Mr. Gorkroch. Anywhere people can find you out this week or see what you're doing?
Nah, I don't get into the streaming as much as I'd like to, but this week obviously we're at Silverstone, which I, personal favourite, really enjoy getting out there. So you'll find us on track 3, 4, 5 times this week, hopefully. We'll see what happens, mate. If I'm lucky, I'll get called up to join you in the combox again.
Yeah, beautiful. All right. That will about do us here tonight. If you want to check out all things Top Split, don't forget to go to the places on your screen at the moment. Hit like, subscribe, thumbs up, all those good things. Of course, this race replay will be uploaded onto the YouTube channel. Join us in the Discord server as well, where we do the broadcast from and the interviews post-race and the podcast where it all started at thetopsplit.com. I will be back here on Thursday night, if not before, to do some of my own Skippy racing and then see what comes of the weekend after that. And we will be back here live and exclusive to bring you Sunday Night Lights, the final round for the season and for the year for season 18 of the Sunday Night Lights. But until then, thank you once again, everyone, for your support and joining us here on track and in the chat. It's been great to have you here. And until next time, ciao for now.